Yo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight, live and in living color. And we are here to talk about this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, 5 days away from 2021's biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. And I have no reason to really be excited about it when it comes to Monday Night Raw. And tonight's go-home show made me just want to stay home and go to sleep, because this creative on this show is as terrible as it has ever been. And we are going to talk about it all right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. You are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review and reaction show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Riddle me this, my Sledge Nation friends. I have a question for you guys, and I don't usually talk about AEW while we're talking about WWE, but I want to know how it is possible that they can put on 1 hour of wrestling on a Friday night and give me 4 professional wrestling matches and some little bits of story in between, but Monday Night Raw within the first hour gave me 2 matches and nothing but a bunch of bullshit from a bunch of people that I've heard everything they've had to say before. It is absolute garbage, you guys. I just can't stand it. And while the Matt Riddle and Randy Orton romance continues to be the single only interesting thing on Monday Night Raw, it's predictable. We all knew this was coming. They threw us for a little loop because Randy came back and he was all pissed off and he didn't want to be part of RK Bro anymore. And he was like, RK Bro, no way, bro. But now this week, they do an about face, what everybody wanted them to do, and it's great. I enjoy what they're doing here with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. It's just feels like same old hat, you know, like every week we're getting the same segments. We're just getting the tag team match split up into multiple segments, and tonight we had something interesting. Actually, they thought of something interesting and they put Randy Orton in the ring with Omos tonight in order to promote their big SummerSlam encounter that would be announced before the end of the show, and they did the wrong thing. They did the wrong thing. This is Omos's first real major Monday Night Raw opponent, his first real major singles match, and the best thing they could have done was make Omos beat Randy Orton. Randy Orton doesn't need to be protected. They're so worried about protecting everybody that we always get these disqualification finishes, these stupid distractions and the roll-ups and the interferences and all this bullshit, and I'm so sick and tired of it. And right here, they had a prime example of what is wrong with the WWE and why they don't know what the hell they're doing anymore, because Omos should have won tonight. Omos should have won, beat the snot out of Randy Orton. Randy could have sold his ass off for the Giant, and then after the match, you have Omos and AJ beating him down, only to get the save by Matt Riddle, and then you can continue on and do what it is that you're actually doing, which is leading us towards a World Tag Team Championship match, Orton and Riddle versus Omos and AJ, which is something that we've wanted from the beginning. Once the whole Randy and Riddle thing started to kick off, that's where everybody wanted it to go. And here we are, 5 days away. They waited till they were 5 days away to do this, and you know what? I could appreciate it. I could appreciate them trying to throw wrenches in it, trying to make it seem unpredictable, but we all kind of knew where this was headed. It was a feel-good moment, and it was the only feel-good moment on tonight's Monday Night Raw, except for the fact that I have to keep seeing the same segments over and over again. This show essentially opened up the exact same way last week opened up. Randy Orton came out because he was going to say some shit. He was followed by his little bro, Matt Riddle, who came out to be like, bro, don't break up with me, bro. It's not cool, man. And then they would be confronted by AJ and Omos, and on we go. Same old shit over and over and over again. The not tired. I feel tired. I feel like I'm tied up like a maniac and being forced to watch this because the little wrestling fan in me's got a gun to my head and is like, bro, you can't not watch wrestling. What's wrong with you? I know it's going to be garbage, but you got to watch it. because it's what we do. It's what we've done for 40 years. Just like for the last 5 of those years. Right around SummerSlam weekend, August the 16th to be exact, I launched this channel in order to bring the hammer down on the WWE and try to help the community of wrestling fans right the ship, but they don't listen to us. They don't give a shit about us. They prove that over and over and over again. And as we sit here on our 5th birthday, Sledge Nation, I want to say before we go any further, thank you so much. We wouldn't be sitting here without each and every one of you. We continue to be on the drive to hit 3,000 subscribers. If we could hit that before the end of the month, would be fantastic. If we don't, I don't really care, because I'm going to be here anyway, bringing the hammer down on the WWE as I always do. And without my sledge heads, this wouldn't be possible. Happy birthday to all of you who have been with me from day one. 5 years we have been bringing the hammer down, and we are just getting started. So congratulations to you guys for being part of this very special live stream. I hope it's coming across great. I hope we're not having any interference. I haven't done a live stream with you guys in quite some time, and I miss it. I miss it. It's awesome, and I want to just throw my love and appreciation to each and every one of you, especially those of you who are hanging out with me tonight live in the chat. I'm sure we're going to get more regulars coming on in as we go through this show, and just if I continue to thank you guys throughout, you know, just enjoy it, because not everywhere in the world do you get anybody that appreciates you, right? Well, just know that I do. I appreciate you. And if you're not subscribed, now would be the perfect time to do so, because it's time to talk about this trash heap of a show. And thank you to everybody in the comments right now wishing me a happy birthday. This birthday is meaningless without all of you guys here to celebrate. So I hope we see more and more familiar faces pile in, because I want this to be a celebration. Because Monday Night Raw sucks, but at least we can get together and have a good time like we love to do here on Sledgehammer TV. And I know it's late in some parts of the world. It's a little later than others. Like right here, I'm sitting here talking to you. It's after midnight, but we're going to go until we just can't go no more, because I love you guys so much. So let's make this a special show. Interact with me. Super chats are open, all that good stuff. And, you know, if you feel like donating or whatever it is that I'm supposed to say during a live stream, you know, all those things are available to you guys. Thank you very much. By the way, SummerSlam is on Saturday, which is a stupid thing. I know they're trying to avoid competition with other things going on Sunday, but, you know, this is a Big Four pay-per-view. I'm a traditionalist. I like things to be done in a traditional manner. But SummerSlam Saturday, we're going to have to get over it. I'm kind of, I guess, warmed up to it by having to tune into WrestleMania on Saturday for the last 2 years, but that was only one of 2 nights, still concluding on a Sunday, which still made it somewhat feel a little bit more special. This random Saturday pay-per-view out of nowhere happening to be a SummerSlam just kind of brings it down for me. But that's just me, I guess, nitpicking. I like my pay-per-views on a Sunday. That's the way it's supposed to be. But it is what it is. Maybe they're trying to cut in on the other promotions' actions because they like to do Saturday shows and weird things like that. But WWE does weird things all the time, every single Monday when we sit down here and watch the show. As we already talked about, we opened the show with a recap of the bromance, right? We had Randy Orton and Riddle's whole entire story. We had the opening segment, which was the one after the other after the other. We already talked about Randy, followed by Riddle, followed by AJ and Omos. All of this to set up Omos versus Randy Orton later on in the night, which also turned out to be AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle to be the first match on the show. Fine. I mean, this was like a 20-minute introduction segment like they like to do, and I'm tired of them. It's just every single week the same crap. But then we got a 10-minute matchup between AJ Styles and Matt Riddle, which, despite the fact that it was a good match, is not safe. It's not safe because the rematch alert is there. This is a match we've seen before. These guys have fantastic chemistry, and this was a decent match. I really did enjoy it, and a champion actually won his match here. And Matt Riddle being on the downside with Randy Orton, ending up losing this match. It just makes everybody feel a little bit more for him, especially since he truly believed that if Randy Orton stayed with him at ringside, he would be unstoppable, which is pretty much verbatim what he said prior to this match. But Randy didn't stick around. Randy Orton left him hanging, walked off. The crowd wasn't happy about it. Riddle certainly wasn't happy about it. And he ended up looking at the lights, probably because he was thinking too much about his bro taking off than he was about the phenomenal multiple world champion standing across the ring from him. And you can't sleep on an AJ Styles. And AJ wins this matchup, which was fine. And also would have played in better to what I said should have happened with Randy and Omos, which is they should have had Omos won. This way, both tag team champions would have been successful on this night. I know it was just a DQ, but it would have been more powerful if Omos beat Randy and then Riddle saved Randy for them to make the challenge for SummerSlam Saturday and then end up winning and beating AJ and Omos there, which is probably what's going to end up happening unless Randy turns on Riddle mid-match in order to set up their program going forward from there. Either way, I'd be okay with it. What I'm not okay with, still on Monday Night Raw, is Nikki pretending to be a superhero ass. She almost is a superhero. I hate this almost gag. I know many of you guys too do also. It's just so terrible. So terrible. It's not even about the costume or how silly she might look or anything of that nature. It's simply just cringe. It's cringe TV. It's awful. She has these promos where she wants you to believe in yourself, but she's always like selling herself short in her own promos, and they just don't make sense. She's like, oh, I'm confident I could beat Rhea Ripley tonight, and you should be, because you're the champ. It shouldn't be questioned at all. And then she goes out there and fucking loses to Rhea Ripley in a non-title match, of course. But again, a champion is pinned 5 nights before her triple threat championship match at a major pay-per-view. To make Rhea Ripley look good? Who is Rhea Ripley even? We have no freaking clue who Rhea Ripley is. Do we give a shit who Rhea Ripley is? They don't give us a reason to give a shit. I certainly don't. Oh my God, you guys. Just continues to be the worst shit ever, especially when it comes to the women's division. They gave these girls nearly 10 minutes and it wasn't so great. I mean, we've seen this before. So once again, the second match of the night, only the second match of the first hour, ended up having to have me signal the dreaded rematch alert, which is pretty much a common thing every time we talk about any match at all on Monday Night Raw. And that trend would continue, as the next match on the night would be Drew McIntyre versus Schmear and Stanky, accompanied by Jinder Mahal. This was a big waste of time. We've seen Drew in the ring with, I think, Schmear or Stanky or both of them. At this point, I don't care because I don't pay attention when this storyline is on my television screen. I just don't give a damn. I really, really don't. They have made Drew McIntyre one of the most uninteresting people of all time on Monday Night Raw. He's coming off as the corniest babyface since Roman Reigns was walking around trying to pretend to be a cool good guy. And having Jinder Mahal as his opponent, I'm assuming they want that to generate heat from me. But all it does is generate hate from me because I really could care less. And the fact that they're ignoring these men's history to such a point where they have made this feud about a fucking sword named Angela and breaking a motorcycle and 2 gigantic sing midgets, it just makes it even less appealing. And I just don't care. So Drew McIntyre beat down Schmear and Stanky, Jinder Mahal's 2 mildly impressive-looking giant goons, by himself in less than 5 minutes, and I'm supposed to take these 2 schmuckos seriously from now on. They haven't even got a solid win as a tag team, and going forward now, what value do they have? Zero freaking value. Absolutely ridiculous, which is why this is one of the first of many birthday-sized poop hammers. Happy birthday, Drew. A poopa hammer for you. It's friggin' awful. Awful. And, you know, I'm going to be pulling that poop hammer out again. It's inevitable because it's just awful. It's just awful. Everything. Then, of course, we had to have Charlotte Flair complaining to Sonya Deville. And she was all pissed off about last week being attacked by Nikki Cross, Rhea Ripley for no reason, and blah, blah, blah. She wants to get her revenge. She can't wait for SummerSlam. And she also didn't feel like it was necessary to get dressed. Charlotte Flair came tonight dressed in her pajamas or her underwear. I don't know. She looked like she wasn't wearing anything at all. She looked like she had on a bra and like some granny panty tighty whities and then like a diamond suit over it, like a clear diamond. It wasn't her best. It wasn't her best outfit, if I'm being honest, which is what I always am with you guys. And while we're talking about being honest, do you guys give a shit that Elias is dead? I don't give a shit. He's so dead, he's walking around every week telling everybody, hey, guess what? Elias is dead. Apparently, he's the Walking Dead. Is Elias a WWE zombie? What is going on with Elias? Let me ask you a serious question. Seriously. And you could answer me in the chat. You could answer me in the comment section down below. Do you give a flying fuck about whatever they're going to do with Elias going forward? This guy had a guaranteed successful gimmick, and they ruined it. Remember when they had people coming out throwing lettuce and tomatoes at Elias? Right about then is when he lost all value, and it's only gone downhill from there. His association with Jackson Riker has only turned him into an even bigger fucking loser. So yeah, okay, great, you're dead. Are you going to come back with a new name? Are you going to have a haircut? Are you going to shave your beard? Are you still going to play guitar? Are you going to play a different style? Maybe he's coming back with an electric guitar. Do we give a shit? That's the important question. And the answer, my friends, that's right, Justin Cowboy, hell fucking no. Thank you guys again for the continued happy birthday wishes that we should all be celebrating, because it's all of our birthdays here at Sledge Nation tonight, which is why the hammer's coming down as intense as it's ever come down before. You know what else the fucking WWE had the balls to do tonight? They had the balls to give us a Miz TV segment, but call it something else. They called it Moist TV. I didn't think you could get worse than Miz TV, but now we got Moist TV, which is supposed to be, I guess, John Morrison's interview segment. But essentially, when you're looking at it from a production standpoint, it's fucking Miz TV with a giant inflatable pool and some dripsticks. But the dripsticks have been on Miz TV. And of course, the first guest on the fucking Moist TV show has to be The Miz. Why? Why? All of this was so that they can continue to mock and yell at Damian Priest, which is a feud that has been going on seemingly forever. And even though Damian Priest has shifted gears to a United States Championship match at SummerSlam against Sheamus, he still has to be attached at the hip with these two jackasses. And I know The Miz showed that he was never really hurt, and we had that miraculous Miz's return or whatever it is, but I just don't care. Anything they did with Damian Priest, his entire segment tonight should have been focused on and built around Sheamus. Not having Sheamus come out and be part of something that has nothing to do with his title match. Like, I felt like Damian Priest has worked so hard to get to this point where he's finally got the championship match, and the WWE still don't fucking know what to do with him, so we'll just throw him in the ring with The Miz again. So what do we have to do when we say the word again in reference to a match? Rematch alert. This one's coming down hard tonight, over and over and over again, because Monday Night Raw doesn't know how to do much of anything except for give us some rematches. Other than that, they like to give us complete dog shit, which is when Eva Marie comes onto the screen and we have Blue Buns, Dewdrop, whatever you want to call her, and they're in the back, and Eva's being all condescending to Dewdrop, and she's pissed off because she blew it, because she lost to Alexa, and now she's absolutely worthless already, and Dewdrop's trying to blame it on the doll. And I'm telling you that I really don't care. Anytime Eva Marie, Piper Niven, Alexa Bliss, or Lily the Doll grace my screen while watching wrestling, I truly do not give a damn any more. Anything that could have made this interesting was killed off freaking months ago. Right after WrestleMania, when there was no follow-up to whatever happened with Bray, all the way up to when he was released from the company yesterday, the Alexa Bliss shit has gotten progressively worse. Not just because they have given us Eva Marie, but because nothing that's going on with Alexa makes any sense anymore outside of the realm of Bray Wyatt. It's just useless to me. So whenever they're on the screen, I really just don't pay attention. The Miz and John Morrison had a lot of TV time tonight. The Miz was backstage with him, and they were talking about how hurt they were that neither one of them had each other's backs. Now, the one thing I didn't like, that I did actually like here, was the fact that they're planting the seed for the split, which is something that I'd like them to do, and I want John Morrison to start taking himself a whole lot more seriously. You know, be more like the John Morrison he was in Lucha Libre and in Impact Wrestling, and not so much of this drip bullshit. Kick the Miz's teeth down his throat and then go off on his own. That'll be the best thing that could come out of this. Otherwise, I really just don't care and would wish it all would go away. Same way I wish Alexa's playground would go away. Alexa Bliss was in the playground. She was confronted by Dewdrop at the behest of Eva Marie, and Dewdrop grabbed Lily the doll and then got scared because she was looking at the doll, gave it back to Alexa Bliss, and left. This was a useless segment. What did it accomplish? It only furthered to show how Dewdrop's character is just a waste. It's a waste of TV time. There's no creativity stirring around in there. Oh, let's have her show up and be scared of the doll that has done absolutely nothing to anybody except fucking wink. Let's be so scared. The fuck out of here. I was more scared that I had to watch Mush and Teabag once again on Monday Night Raw, facing off against Mansoor and Ali. Now, this wasn't a tag team match, but it was essentially a continuation of what we have continuously seen week after week. We've seen Ali get defeated by Teabag. Now, of course, we're going to have Mansoor versus Mace, and Mansoor gets the win, which kind of rubs a little salt in the wound to Mustafa, who did not get the win in his matchup. Mansoor won this match in less than 2 minutes with a fucking roll-up because Ali cheated. So once again, we got the baby faces cheating to beat the heels, and everything is all ass backwards. Can anyone explain it to me? Hit me up and let me know. Because I can't explain it to you guys. I pride myself on being able to explain to you guys what's wrong with this show. But it's just so wrong that there is no human explanation that is worth your time. It's not going to make sense if I try to explain it, so why fucking bother? Why bother? We had a backstage promo with Omos, and Omos is more of a superhero than Nikki Cross. He's Omos, a superhero. He said he was going to kill the legend of Randy Orton tonight. AJ Styles would say that Omos will be the new legend killer. And Styles will be a moron killer, or is the moron killer, because he beat Matt Riddle earlier this evening. I did giggle at that. Once again, as I said, Riddle, Randy, and this tag team championship feud the best thing they are doing on Raw. Not that they are doing it great, but it is the only thing on the show that doesn't make me simply want to bash my head in with this. Watching a Goldberg video package does. Let's go back to that, because the next thing was a Goldberg video package, and this is how I feel every time I see Goldberg on my WWE screen. It feels like an aggressive bunch of violent strikes to the head, and then I feel concussed, probably the way Bill Goldberg concusses himself prior to every fucking match he ever has, is by being a nitwit and headbutting his locker. Let's move on. Randy Orton, again, we've talked about this couple of times, I think, by now. Randy Orton defeated Omos via disqualification. The crowd was hot for this matchup, but Styles kicked Randy Orton, and the referee seen it. He called for the bell. It was a disqualification. They would attack Orton after the match, which would bring out Matt Riddle to save his brother, his RK Bro. And then Orton gave Riddle a hug and was happy because he said he earned his respect. This was the overarching story of the night, just like last week. It's like As the World Turns, starring Randy and Riddle. RK Bro is an RK Go. And then Riddle challenged the tag team champions to a match at SummerSlam. The crowd was very happy about this. I just can't wait to see it be finished with. I know it'll probably be a good match. You got Randy Orton, you got AJ Styles, you got Matt Riddle. Should be pretty damn good. Jeff Hardy was defeated by Karrion Kross in less than a minute. This was pointless. Karrion Kross, prior to the match, beat the shit out of Randy Orton backstage to give himself the decided advantage. Jeff Hardy was running his mouth, cutting a promo, telling Karrion Kross his 15 minutes of fame in the WWE are done, before Kross would show up to beat the snot out of him. And the NXT champion was victorious in, once again, another fucking rematch. This one we've seen for the third time now. Kross winning the 2 out of 3. Where do they go from here with him? I really don't care. Talking about not caring, I have to talk about Eva Marie again. Not because I want to, not because I have a point to make, but because there was another fucking segment featuring her and Doudrop, and Eva was pissed at her for not getting the doll, and then she slapped Doudrop in the face twice, and Doudrop just stood there and took that shit. Speaking of shit, let's drop another poop hammer, as we have to talk about the, hey, look at me, I'm a clown, I flip around like a Cirque du Soleil clown, I can do backflips, my name is Reggie, everybody cheer for me because I can fucking flip. That's the story the WWE is telling. This man is telling us a story about how people in the playground used to tease him, and he used to escape being teased from bullies because he flipped around in the trees like a goddamn chimp. He didn't say a chimp, but that's what he was implying. He flipped around, he was climbing trees, he was hopping around. And this is supposed to make me give a shit? This is supposed to make me care about fucking Reggie? I don't care about Reggie. I don't care about his little trip to the park. I don't care about his childhood, his flipping around in the playground. I don't even care that he got jumped by R-Truth and Akira Tozawa in the middle of his little memory lane bullshit. He dropped his fake French accent. He continues to do nothing but flip. And I'm supposed to flip out over this? No thanks. We are going to pass hard. Oh, by the way, Akira Tozawa and R-Truth did not get the 24/7 title back because Reggie flipped around a car. He flipped over a car and everybody was like, ooh, Reggie can fucking jump. Gives a shit. And then he drove away in his car. We ran down the SummerSlam card, which is something that we will do later on in the week. But this card now includes Randy Orton and Matt Riddle versus AJ and Omos. It also now includes Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. Oh, joy! Oh, rapture! All I have to say...
Thanks, Vince.
Do me any favors, bro. Because, well, maybe he is. Because at the very least, he provided me with another match in which I could go and relieve myself in the urinal, because that would be more a better use of my time come Saturday night. Because I know I'm going to have to be drinking a lot of coffee to get through some of this shit. So I'll save my bathroom break exactly for when Alexa and Eva Marie come out that night. And I hate having to even say that because I was so into what they were going to do with Alexa, and as always with the WWE, they just shit the bed. They shit the bed. And they made it uninteresting and boring and useless. That's the theme of tonight's show. It was useless. Don't believe me? Let's check out the next matchup. Charlotte Flair teamed up with Nia Jax. I don't know why. To take on Nikki Cross, who's going to be in her second match of the night, but her partner is going to be the woman who already beat her ass earlier in the night. Also, a woman who is going to be part of the triple threat this Saturday, Rhea Ripley, because the WWE's just got to get them all in there at the same time. I didn't get this. I didn't care about it. Charlotte and Nia win, beating Nikki Cross twice on the same fucking night. And I'm supposed to take her seriously. The finish of this match came when Nia Jax set up for a Vader bomb, and then Charlotte Flair tagged herself in, knocked Nikki Cross off the apron, giving Rhea Ripley the natural selection for the win. So now the person who pinned the champion earlier in the night was the one that lost this match for the champion here in this match, and I'm not supposed to say fucking anything about it. How does this help anybody? You've put them in all these segments tonight, and the only person that comes out looking good in any way, technically, is Shayna Baszler, because she wasn't involved, and she was watching in the back, playing with cards, watching on the screen. She's the smartest girl in the room, staying as far away from this trash pit as possible. I'd like to tell you that this was at least a good match, but then I'd be lying. I would be lying, and that's not very fair. We also seen a new Elias video where he put a tombstone down. He put down a tombstone that said Elias 2017 to 2021 next to the guitar. So I guess he's not coming out with the guitar anymore. I guess he's going through a complete overhaul. And once again, are we going to give a shit? No. Why did we have to see two Elias vignettes on the same night? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Oh my God. Then we had the end of this show, which seen Bobby Lashley and Bill Goldberg go face to face. Just 3 days after we seen John Cena and Roman Reigns go face to face on SmackDown. Wow, talk about creative. What do we do for our title match? What did they do on SmackDown? They did a face to face. Oh, let's do that. But shouldn't we do something different, boss? Oh, no. Why would he want... Just stick with the script we already got? All you had to do was throw Tinyberg in there. Gage Goldberg is there. That's why Bill Goldberg wants this match. He's using the same story he was using last time. I just want my son to be able to see me kick somebody's ass, even though I'm an old man now. It's the same shit. Gage was sitting ringside. He had some friends with him here. He said, Gage is the reason he came out of retirement. And I want to say, thanks, Gage. Thanks for nothing, bro. Why didn't you keep your dad at home? Why don't you go play baseball in the back? Or let him go teach you how to play football. Or let him teach you how to do anything except for wrestle, because the guy don't know how to do that. So ridiculous. He wants to show his son who his father is. I guess because he don't fucking remember from 2 years ago when he seen it the first time. Jackasses. Fuck Bill Goldberg. Hate that guy. I never liked him when he was popular. And he continues to be part of pro wrestling, and everybody's got this weird, distorted fucking memory of how great Bill Goldberg was. Was he influential? Did he mean something during the rise of WCW? Sure, he played a part. And then they fucking blew it. They blew it with him. He lost to Hogan. It was over. And then he came to WWE and they were like, oh, it's fucking Goldberg. And I was like, who cares? And that was back when he came back around WrestleMania 20. He had the useless feud with Triple H, and then he got booed out of Madison Square Garden with Brock Lesnar, and I hoped I was never going to see him again. But not only did he come back, he's been fucking champion. He beat Bray Wyatt. And now he's in the ring with Bobby Lashley. Why? I asked for Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. I didn't ask for Brock Lesnar's grandpa. This was fucking more useless shit. Goldberg came out to have this face-to-face. He told the world how much he loved his son. Bobby Lashley and MVP came out. And then what did you think was going to happen? Especially with little Gage there and Bill Goldberg not wanting to look like less than a superhero. Of course, Bill Goldberg ends up spearing the almighty champion, leaving him all laid out. And then Gage hopped over the barricade and posed on the stage with his daddy-o as the show went off the air. And this is how Monday Night Raw wants to fucking leave you and get you excited. Let's get excited for the Raw portion of Saturday SummerSlam. Other than the Raw Tag Team title match and maybe Sheamus versus Priest, because I think that'll be a sleeper match. Both of those guys are great wrestlers, and I feel like that match is going to be really good. What else have we got? The same trash that we get on the regular every single Monday night. For the last 5 years, here we have sat together, all of us, and dropped the hammer down on this show. And it feels good to get it out, doesn't it? It feels good to sit here amongst friends that know what we're talking about. All of us that have the same feelings for what's going on. And we could share it with each other in the chat, in the comment section, which is always open for you guys, as always. Since we are live, I'm going to encourage you guys to talk to me in the chat. And I'm going to pull up this screen. And we're going to see you guys. Sup? I don't do this very often either. Again, I want to say thank you, as you see, as we scroll up a little bit here. I don't know if we're in real time or not, if you can see it. But, yeah, I got a lot of birthday wishes. I don't think I can scroll it here, can I? No, I guess not. Okay, whatever. You guys see what you can see. Talk to me. Talk to me. We'll talk about things. Super chat me if you like. Do whatever it is. This is just a little extra bonus time because we are live, baby, live on a Monday Night Raw birthday show. So, what do you guys got? You got any questions? What did I miss anything? What are you looking forward to? Anything that is happening this Saturday at SummerSlam? Are you going to be watching? Are you going to be tuning back in to Sledgehammer TV to see me tear it to shreds? Hopefully not. You know, if we're being honest, WWE's pay-per-views are like hit and miss. And usually when you're not that interested in the pay-per-view, it comes out being a great pay-per-view. And we might actually have that as a possibility here. So let's take a look at what some of you guys are saying. You saw a fuck you, who's next? Yeah, bro, what is with name? I never got to ask you. It's just, I don't mind your name, bro. But it's just like, in interactions like this, I'm going to have to shorten. I'm just going to call you FU. And I don't mean it as a, F you. You get it. You guys all get it. All right, listen. You saw Goldberg do a jackhammer to the Giant in 1997. Where did you see that? Where were you? That's a great memory. That's a great memory. Not because of that particular moment, but just I love talking about wrestling in the 90s. It was just a completely different time. The climate was different. People in the world were different. We were more accepting of things. We weren't so quick to be fucking triggered by everything. And it was just a really magical time. It doesn't mean everything was great. And Bill Goldberg was not one of the great fucking things of the 90s. And to answer your next question, Mr. FU, who's next? Yes, I am going to go to the AEW Dynamite show at the Arthur Ashe Stadium when AEW makes their debut in New York City. I know I don't cover them often, but that's because I don't want the fucking hate, because I'm too honest. There's a lot about AEW I do not enjoy. There's an awful lot about it I do not enjoy. I'm one of there's probably a bunch of people like me, but I am one of those fans that feel like Kenny Omega's just not that special. I have my criticisms. I have the people I like in AEW. The problem is most of them came from Vince. And in recent months. And some of them haven't even made their debut yet. But that really was the motivating factor. It's a historic show. It's their first time in New York. I've never been to the Arthur Ashe Stadium, so that's an important historic thing for me. Knock something off the bucket list. Going to an AEW show, of course, knock something else off the bucket list. I can get that under my belt. Just to say I did it. I've been to a New Japan show at Madison Square Garden the first time they did that. I also am going to SmackDown when WWE comes to New York for the first time post-pandemic as well, to have their first show in New York. It's the history element of it that's luring me in more than just the fact of going to see wrestling on both ends. Because SmackDown, by the time we get to September, might be different. Who knows? But AEW, that's a really historic moment. Plus, we have the possibility of there being CM Punk and or Daniel Bryan as part of the roster there. Maybe even Bray Wyatt by that time. After All Out, there's a bunch of other talents that are going to be available and might be scooped up. And I want to be there for that. And that's what I'm a wrestling fan. Why wouldn't you want to be there? Why wouldn't you want to be there? Of course you want to be there. My problem with that AEW show more than anything is the fucking prices of those tickets were absolutely ridiculous. I didn't get seats that bad, but I ended up buying seats in the upper portion of the arena. Now, I don't know how great the view is. Like I said, I've never been in there. I don't know what to really expect. But the very next section below me, which was like the very mid section, the next seat available was like $1,200. $1,200. I haven't paid $1,200 to go to a WWE show. I'm going to pay $1,200 to go to see fucking AEW. I don't know how they sold out so quickly. I really don't. I bought the $60 seat, and I'm going to be good. And I'm going to be there. And if any of you guys, any of my fans live in New York and you're going to be there, hit me up somehow. And maybe we can hook it up. Maybe we can hook it up. Let's see. What else are we talking about? Do you think WWE can make new superstars? No. No, I do not. They have had, since I've started this show, they have had the opportunity to make the superstars that they do have into legends. But instead, they turned them into legendary failures. Look at where Shinsuke Nakamura is right now. He should be far beyond his status. Even AJ Styles, he's been multiple time champion, sure. But did they really push him the way he should have been pushed? No. Samoa Joe, wasted. Kevin Owens, wasted. Sami Zayn, wasted. Are all these guys stars? Sure. Are they stars like John Cena is a star? I would say no. But they can't do it. They had 3 opportunities with Bray Wyatt. Every single time it got over, and they failed him. Look at Rusev, Damian Sandow. These guys set themselves up to be the next generation of megastars. But because they didn't do it the way Vince wanted them to, they are all in fucking AEW now. D-Boy Q says to me, nah, Kenny is that guy. Listen, I don't mean any disrespect towards Kenny Omega. It's just, I heard so much about him prior to my seeing him. And once I did, outside of his entrance, which at that show, I forget which show it even was, but he came out, and I'm pretty sure he was dressed like the Terminator, and he had the Sephiroth music playing, and I'm like, all right, this guy's pretty cool. But then he took all the shit off and just wasn't very impressive to me. I feel like he's as repetitive as Cena and Roman Reigns and everybody else. He does like 50,000 V triggers. He goes for the one-winged angel 97 times until he finally hits it and gets the win. His matches with Okada were very good, but I mean, at the same time, he just does the same shit over and over again, and all you guys mark out for it, and that's fine. And that's fine. I can't say that he's not good at what he does. He's just not my cup of tea. FU brings up a good point. The Kenny Omega that I seen in New Japan was more appealing than the way he's been in AEW as well. I don't think they featured him as their number one guy at all. And one of the biggest mistakes I think they've made was having him lose to Christian just recently. I know he didn't lose the AEW championship, but this guy hasn't been beaten in AEW at all. And with the storyline they're telling with him and Hangman, even though Hangman's taken some time off, there was no reason to blemish the record of Kenny Omega to give a fucking win to an aging WWE X guy, a B-level guy, no less. That's my opinion on that and the whole Kenny Omega thing. What else? You like the idea of AEW, but they're becoming a repository for ex-WWE? Absolutely. But you know what? That's not really the problem. The problem is not that they're becoming the repository. It's that they're taking the WWE guys, well, most of them, and putting them above their own guys. Now, I don't have a problem with that, so to speak, with like a Rusev, you know, but like Dean Ambrose came right in and just was the champion. Boom. You know, like, he was the one to beat Jericho. You know, like, it just, and Jericho, former WWE guy. It's like almost no true AEW guy was the champ until Kenny Omega. Like, it just, and all that time it's being held by WWE guys. And now Kenny Omega suffers his first loss to a 50-year-old WWE guy. Meanwhile, we've seen him go fucking 90 minutes with Okada in New Japan. You know what? It just, I can't. And the only thing that is positive to me and is going to give me I hope, a better taste in my mouth for AEW is, unfortunately, 2 former WWE guys. With Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, 2 of my favorite wrestlers of the current generation, maybe 2 of my favorites all time. So if they're gonna go there and wrestle, I'm gonna watch. But that doesn't mean I have to watch and enjoy fucking Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt and all these fucking guys that I don't care. Orange Cassidy, I don't care. Darby Allin with Sting is very cool. But the rest of it, I don't care. Rusev, he'll get there. Miro, I'm sorry for those of you who get mad. So that's pretty much that. Let's get away from AEW. Not that I don't like them or anything like that. I could sit here all night because we never talk about it. You know, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. That's why I don't review it. Maybe I'll review it in the future. Maybe we'll do like a members only thing or a subscribers only thing, because I just don't want all the hate from all the AEW guys, because we tried and I got slaughtered, and I ain't got time in my life to be blocking half the fucking world. All these guys, and they're brutal and they're fucking mean, and they're meaner than WWE fans. Believe you me. Devontae W. What's up, brother? The Cena Reigns storyline is lazy. Also, nothing but promos. Get creative. The problem, even more than that, is that the promos that they're giving them are not very creative. If you remember back in 2017 when Cena first confronted Roman Reigns, there was a lot of real life tension in the air. You could fucking feel it. And you know, now it just seems like they're just going through the motions and just saying standard things and using weird sex jokes. You know, lame sex jokes and penis jokes and what? Gives a shit. You know, this should be about the future of WWE. John Cena should have came in being like, listen, I told you you were not going to be the guy, but look, you're actually the guy now. Like, he's showing him absolutely no respect, and he's calling out John Cena. I mean, Cena's calling out Roman Reigns for not being the man and saying that he can't get over at a time when he's actually more over than he's ever been and is actually the fucking man. So it kind of makes Cena look like a dumbass, doesn't it? It's almost like he doesn't watch the show. I don't blame him, because I don't even. But yeah, I mean, it's got the two. I mean, Cena versus Reigns is the biggest match they could possibly have right now, outside of The Rock and Reigns. And what's the common denominator? Roman Reigns. So he's their fucking guy. He's the number one guy. It's what Vince McMahon's wanted for fucking years and years and years. And here we are. He's got it. But he's got nobody to go against him, because he spent so much time focused on Roman that he fucking ruined everybody else. Crazy. What other questions do we got? Keep them questions coming. I'm pissed off at myself because I think I put the slow mode on a little bit too slow. And like I said, I don't do the streaming thing, and I think I put too many seconds. So either you guys aren't responding that quick, or I put it way too fucking slow. Anyway, let's move on. What's your cup of tea? My cup of tea is actually an Earl Grey. I enjoy a nice Earl Grey. I put a little bit of milk, not too much sugar. It's very comforting. Maybe a chamomile. You like a little chamomile? Because I do. I enjoy a little chamomile. I'm kidding. My cup of tea. My cup of tea is actually, I love tag team wrestling. Real tag team wrestling. AEW has enough talent to have the potential for some great tag team wrestling. But when I'm talking about great tag team wrestling, I'm talking about teams like Edge, Christian, and the Dudleys. And then even further back than that, when I think back to feuds that I've watched between the Hart Foundation and Demolition for the WWF Tag Team Championships, the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation, the Rockers, and literally any team. Tag team wrestling was always, I think, the most exciting. And the one-on-one match for the championship is always what you most was looking forward to see, but that tag team match, more often than not, stole my imagination. That and the Intercontinental title. Growing up in the age that I grew up in, everybody knows the Intercontinental title was the fucking shit. But I love technical wrestling mixed with the flamboyance of sports entertainment, which you don't get any better than that than guys like Ric Flair, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. In the modern day, you know, Dolph Ziggler had the potential. He has the charisma. He has the athleticism to be one of those guys, but WWE booked him into oblivion and made nobody give a shit about him. I'm not really into all of the big guys. They have to appeal to me. Like, I love myself a Big E Langston. I loved guys like Vader. Who doesn't love an Andre the Giant? You know, but I don't love every big man. Much like many of you guys who outside of his own family and friends, who probably loves the Great Khali as a professional wrestler. Not many of us. Maybe everybody in his home country, and that's understandable. We always root for the home guy. But, you know, big guys slapping beef, as other channels like to say, it's not really my thing. I like the faster paced, but not the flippy New Japan style of no-sell. I hate no-sell offense, which is something, again, turns me away from an AEW made me not really enjoy the New Japan show that I sat in Madison Square Garden to watch. It's just, I guess, growing up in the West, being raised on AWA and WWF wrestling, it's not, I mean, it's not that I can't enjoy a New Japan match. It's just, for the most part, I feel like they're all the same match over and over. More questions. Let's go. If you woke up and had the body of a top tier international pro wrestler, what would your finisher be? That is a very cool question. First of all, who says I need to have the body of a top tier international pro wrestler? For those of you that don't know, I actually was training to be a pro wrestler in this very average New York City body fueled on hot dogs and beer. But or pizza and beer, if I'm being more honest. I don't eat hot dogs that much. They give me fucking indigestion. But if I always wanted to do some sort of a power bomb as my finishing move, but being less than 6 feet tall, that would not really generate that much momentum. So I always thought of some sort of submission. Like I said, like some sort of a play on the sharpshooter, or a different version of the figure four, or something like that. As far as an impactful move, more than anything, I love myself a good spine buster, which I usually use as a setup when I do my creator wrestlers. I usually do a spine buster, which leads me into a setup for some kind of a big power move, maybe like a tiger driver or a blue thunder bomb of some sort. I like doing power moves, but it just wouldn't really be realistic to my character to do some of those things. So I think about these things seriously, like I think about pro wrestling, as you guys know. So the honest answer would probably be that. I would probably hit a spine buster into like a blue thunder bomb. You know, Sami Zayn don't use it as a finisher. I might as well take it, right? I never liked the Brock Lesnar, John Cena, CM Punk style, like, you know, fireman's carry into something weird type thing. The Death Valley Driver was a cool thing coming out of that. But other than that, you know, I don't really go for those kind of bigger moves. What else do we got? Did I miss anybody? Let me know. What do we got? John Cena feels out of place and he seems corny. Too much PG. Sure. Absolutely. I agree. However, he does, even in his corniness, throw out some of the best lines that we've heard on WWE all year long. Roman needs a new feud. The Rock won't happen to a WrestleMania. Hopefully, and hopefully they don't make The Rock come out and win the fucking Royal Rumble in order to get to his cousin. That is completely unnecessary. The man could just show up on SmackDown, which is his show, and claim to still be the head of the table since he makes $1 gazillion a day being a Hollywood megastar, and you're off to the fucking races. You don't need to sacrifice the Royal Rumble in order to get Roman to The Rock. But after John Cena, you're absolutely right. I mean, who is there? Who is there on SmackDown for Roman to get us to WrestleMania with The Rock? There's fucking no one. No one. Which is why the WWE is planning this matchup to be done and over with in the summer, and then they are going to do a draft at some point in the fall. I don't know who they'll pick. Maybe it'll be Big E. Maybe somebody will come from Raw. Maybe they'll try to build Karrion Kross. I don't know. That's a question only God knows the answer to, because as far as I can see, there's nobody. There is nobody. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg was Justin the Cowboy's favorite tag team, of course. Who didn't love some New Age Outlaws? 50% of the D-Generation X faction. Fantastic. One of the greatest tag teams of all time. Once again, back in the best era, one of the two best eras of tag team wrestling the WWE/F ever had. Loved the New Age Outlaws. Cowboy also asks, do you think Chris Benoit will be in the Hall of Fame? No. No. Do I remember my first review? Yes, my first review was SummerSlam 2016. I was nervous as shit. I was not on camera. For those of you that don't know, the first few episodes of this show are just a picture and my voice, like some of these other guys like to do. I was self-conscious, I was nervous, I was trying very hard not to emulate anybody else that I was listening to. And I remember not liking it at all. I remember hating it and saying, I'm not going to do this again. And then I woke up on Monday and tried it again for Monday Night Raw. And then we were off and running. And there were a million mistakes on a weekly basis. I was running this show off a fucking old-ass laptop with the built-in webcam and my old blue. And it was what it was. I did the best I could. I tried to put cool shit up in the background. I used to write a different saying every single week behind me, way before other people did that stuff. I'm talking to you, Tempest. They don't fucking know. They don't watch me. You think Wrestle Talk watches me? Let me ask you. You think anybody in the community watches me? Because I don't. But somehow Wrestle Talk stole my Sledgehammer idea before I even got to put it on the website. As I was trying to set up my memberships and my Patreon and all that shit, they stole my Sledgehammer, and now they have T-shirts with a Sledgehammer on it. That's not fair. It's gimmick infringement. And then I see Tempest doing his NXT reviews, and he's got his little message board in the back there. You old school viewers, do you remember when I had the message board up here and I used to write or sometimes draw a little something funny and some sort of a quip to go along with the night show? I'm creative. I can do these things. Why ain't I as big as Wrestle Talk? Because I'm not Ollie and I don't dance for subs? I love those guys so much. Hopefully one day they recognize me and maybe they'll invite me over to fucking Quizlemania or something. I don't know. And then maybe we could be bigger and badder. As big and as bad as we actually deserve to be, as you guys know. Iron Mike or Mick Savage, sorry, says Finn Balor. If that's in reference to who's going to challenge Roman Reigns, I'm sorry, brother. They already fucked that up. It's not going to happen. It would never. Vince McMahon will never put vanilla midget Finn Balor over his big tribal chief dog. No freaking way. Devontae W. What's one wrestler you thought had star potential but WWE just wasted? We listed a few of them before, but I'll give you a controversial one. I'll give you one you're not even going to expect me to say. And I'm going to answer this question by telling you guys, one wrestler that had huge star potential but was completely wasted was Baron Corbin. When he was in NXT, Baron Corbin was very good. When he was moved up to the main roster, he had a great fucking look. He had a great theme song. He was the lone wolf. And then from there, something happened. And they ruined it. And then they made him shave his head. And then they made him a bellboy. And then they gave him a faction. And then they made him the constable. And then they made him the king. And then it's just been all fucking downhill from there. But think about the original incarnation of Baron Corbin. And there was huge possibility. And WWE dropped the ball. Let's move on down the line. D-Boy Q, nobody. Again, if that's in reference to the Roman Reigns question, I agree. There's nobody after John Cena that I'd even give a shit at this point until they do the draft. And they say, what else? Mick Foley, one of my favorite wrestlers. He doesn't get enough credit. I love his book. I love his book too. I bought both of them. I've met Mick Foley on 2 separate occasions as he did autograph signings in my local area. Here's a fun story for you guys. I also one time went out of my way to create a package for Mick Foley, and this package was a very creative idea. It was a story that I had written. It was Christmas themed, but it also had a little mix and a flair of WWE caricatures in the mix. I illustrated it, I outlined it, and I put it all together in a manila envelope, and I gave it to him at one of these fucking autograph signings. And then I never heard back from him. And then a couple of fucking years later, he wrote that Christmas book with The Miz, or whatever it was. The Miz Saves Christmas, or The Miz Ruins Christmas. And I can't help but think that maybe I shouldn't just fucking give people my ideas. Right? Maybe not. I love Mick Foley. He too was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Very underrated by most people. A lot of people agree with Ric Flair, calling him a glorified stuntman. I do not believe that to be the case. This is a man who loves professional wrestling to the point where he's nearly killed himself on multiple occasions. Much respect and love goes out to Mick Foley. You'd be surprised who's watching you. I guess I would be, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. Why would they give a shit about me? Nobody's ever once reached out. I've tried to tweet and interact with them. Nobody ever talks to me, and they don't fucking watch me. You know who does watch me? Seth Rollins obviously watches me, or at the very least, he follows or has seen me on Twitter, or else he would have never blocked me in the first place. Britt Baker, I think, watches the show because she fucking blocked me on Twitter when I criticized her. I know a lot of my wrestling brethren from House of Glory watch me. I probably have more people watching me in AEW since I knew them on a personal level than I do in the WWE. I would love it if you guys are actually watching for whatever reason. I would love to know that. I would love to be part of your little fucking club at some point. 5 years, man. 5 years, I'm still here. I'm not one of these flash in the pans that, you know, do it and then give. I ain't giving up. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here for each and every one of you, the same way you're here. Where else are we at? Iron Mick Savage, I wouldn't mind seeing Lashley versus Cross. That would be a great match if they didn't already make Karrion Kross look like he's not worth 2 fucking diapers in a trash can. Cody, what's up, my brother? What's up, dude? Welcome to the birthday show. You missed the review, but that means you'll have to go back and watch it, which will give me more view time, which will give this channel more support, which means you're doing your job fantastic. I love you guys. Make sure if you missed anything, you go back and watch what you missed. Because right now we're just riffing. We're having a good time on the live stream, answering some of your questions, which you can see on screen. This is kind of fun. We don't do this often. Maybe we will do it more since this is going so swimmingly. But let me knock on some wood now that I fucking jinxed it. My brother Shoji C, you know Wrestle Talk. Of course. What wrestling fan that has a YouTube subscription of any kind doesn't know Wrestle Talk? Just like you know Steven Larson and you gotta know JD. Everybody knows us all for the most part. But we don't all know each other. We're all competition, so I guess they're all scared of me. I don't know. I'm not to be scared of. Unless you work for the WWE creative department, then you should be scared of me, you bastard. Tempest is annoying. Don't be me. Tempest is cool. Tempest has some good opinions. I agree with him a lot of times on his opinions with NXT. I don't know why he hates Dexter Lumis so much, but I like annoying. I like Tempest. I don't think she's annoying. It's getting late. Can you tell? I'm starting to not be able to read English. Ollie and Luke are awesome. They are. I love Ollie. I love Luke. I love everybody. I love Adam Blampier. I've loved him since he was back at that, name redacted place he used to work at. We watch them too. I'm a big fan of Simon Miller. I love the guys at Cultaholic as well. Just a big old family that one day maybe I'll be part of. But I am gonna beg for it. I know I might have a couple of times on the stream, but I ain't gonna beg for it. Let's see. These are authentic. Oh, well, thank you, Justin. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep on trucking until I get to where I want to be. My man FU's back in the game. Corbin can wrestle. Getting back to who I think they dropped the ball on. He could. He was good, man. He's probably got 2 of the best signature moves that I've seen come into the game. The Deep Six is fantastic. A little bit of a play on the Black Hole Slam. Pretty close to that, which is a move that I loved that the Abyss used to do. And the End of Days Who does anything like that? Fucking fantastic. He had so much potential, and they killed the poor guy. And they killed him over and over and over again. And there was no turning back once they fucked him with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Baron Corbin's been dead since then. They're trying to resurrect him now with this happy Corbin shit and, you know, begging for money, and he's kind of heel, but kind of getting over as a baby. I don't care. Let's move on. Baron, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Do you think CM Punk and Daniel Bryan is going to show up in AEW? I think so. I think so. I mean, I think more Daniel Bryan than CM Punk. CM Punk's trolled these guys before, but all the signs say yes, don't they? So I'd like to believe the signs, and it'll give me a reason to actually fucking watch and enjoy the show. So I hope so. Baron Corbin is a true heel. He is great at making people hate him. And are you getting the new COD or Battlefield? You're trying to make people hate me, right? Is that what you want to do? Because both of the parts of that statement, I have to, you know what, Corbin, I'll give him credit for just taking what the company gives him and running with it. And he does have a great ability of getting people to hate him. But that's not going to help him with what they're doing with him. So, and COD or Battlefield, neither. And I'm sorry if that disappoints some of you guys. I fucking hate war shooters. I just don't see the need to reenact real life war. You want to put me on a fucking planet with a laser and send me to kill some fucking aliens and shit? Down. You want me to go up against the robot invasion of the Terminators and stuff like that? That's cool. That's cool. You want to go through some sort of a simulation game of some type, RPGs, real-time strategies? I'm there. Plants vs. Zombies. Boom, I'm there. Age of Empires, I'll do. That kind of shit, I'm there. But put me in a first-person setting and just make me shoot people in the same fucking map over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm not a multiplayer. I guess that sums it up. I like single-player, campaign, story-driven, video game experiences. I just recently finished all 3 parts of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. That's my kind of game. Call of Duties, things like that, not so much. Halo sneaks in there. I will enjoy myself some Halo once in a while, but that's probably about as close as I get. BioShock is probably my favorite first-person shooter type of game that I've ever played. Other than that, no, I will not be playing or getting either one of those games. If you do want to watch somebody awesome play those games, go watch JD, because he fucking plays those games. I have no patience. Finn has to bring the demon back. That might help. It might not. Unless he makes him blue since he's on SmackDown. At least it'll be a completely different demon. I feel like they killed that demon. But he has been gone long enough that if he happened to have brought him back, I think it would go over very well. Shoji, hopefully, Cross loses the title at TakeOver so they can stop booking him in pathetic matches on Raw. What does the title have to do with that, Shoj? Lots of NXT talents come up without their title and they get booked into oblivion. So I don't think that really has any bearing on when he comes up to the main roster or not. He's been on the main roster as champion all this time. What the fuck is the difference? He made him look like a piece of shit. He beat Jeff Hardy a couple of times. Woo! He beat Keith Lee once. Well, twice now. I don't even know. I stopped. This live activity is going to increase your presence. I hope so. Hopefully we grabbed a bunch of subs. But I didn't get no notifications or anything, so I don't think so. Unless my link's not working. I don't know. We'll have to find out when the show comes to a close. But I don't care if we get anybody new. I'm very thankful for all of you that are with me right now having this conversation in the chat. Because if there was nobody here, I wouldn't be talking to you. Or I wouldn't be talking to anybody. I'd probably be talking to myself. Probably be getting ready to try to go to sleep, which is something that I can't do anyway. So might as well hang out here with you guys for a little bit longer. Take a few more questions before we wrap up this special birthday live show for Sledgehammer TV. Let's see. Raw hasn't been good since going to 3 hours. I think we all know that. For some reason, my comment didn't send. You were my first pro wrestling podcast in 2018. Thank you, Cody. After my girlfriend asked why I didn't listen to podcasts about pro wrestling, typed in YouTube ban. Thank you, man. Thank you, and I appreciate that. That's a long time fan. 2018 feels like a fucking lifetime ago, bro. But if you've been coming to me all that time, you're a true sledgehead of Sledge Nation, and that's what I do this for. If I could make watching wrestling even this much easier for any of you, and if I can make you laugh at all after having to sit through 3 hours of kind of television, then I've done my job. Get rid of that slow-mo. Slow-mo from what? What did I miss? Oh, we're talking about games again? I don't know. You lost me there, or I lost myself. I'm talking about a million things right now. We're jumping from wrestling to games, AEW to WWF, EFE. We've been talking about them all. Why not? Devontae, try some Dark Souls. Bro, come on. Did you hear what I just said? You think I didn't play Dark Souls? It's the fucking hardest game I've ever played in my life. Have I finished Dark Souls? No, but I definitely have played it. Fucking awesome. Yeah, Mr. Mike, my brother, I know you're not used to it, and it seems kind of weird, but we're live. It's Monday Live on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show because, as everybody already knows that's been here for the last God knows how long I've been streaming now, it's our 5th anniversary, our 5th birthday. Mr. Mike, you've been with me for a long ass time, so happy birthday as well to you. Who is the top guy for me? Do you think AEW will get to a WWE level? I think in a few years, I think they're going to surpass WWE if the trend continues to go the way it's going. And the top guy for me right now in the WWE, well, who gets me the most hype to see? I guess that would be the question. I'm a really big fan of Big E right now. That's tough, man. There's not any top guys left. There's not many top guys left. They let them all go. I mean, Shinsuke is maybe on trajectory to go back to the top right now. AJ Styles has always been top guy in one of my books. Actually, if I had to go with anybody, he would probably be, in my opinion, the best guy the WWE's got on the roster. And I know he's in his 40s, but that's just what it is. The guy's good on the mic. He's one of the best in the ring that you're ever going to see. Maybe the next best thing to a Shawn Michaels or a Ric Flair that their generation has. Gotta be top guy. If Daniel Bryan's not around, AJ Styles would definitely be my top guy. Okay, so what else do we got? Shoji thinks Bryan or Punk are going to take Cody's place as head babyface while Cody goes on hiatus. Sure. Why not? I think it'll be better because I don't think that Cody Rhodes as the head babyface was really doing anything. I think when you are in the position of being the executive, the VP, or in a high office position, and then being one of the top guys on your roster, it doesn't really look well. That'll be like Triple H founding NXT, having all this young new talent, and then going out there and being the champ all the time. It's just, I don't know. I love Cody. I thought he was great. But, it makes it difficult. He's better off taking the time off, coming back. He's always going to be in the main event. There's nothing you could do about that. But I will say this, when he does come back and Daniel Bryan or CM Punk or both are firmly planted as the top baby faces in the company, a heel Cody Rhodes coming back would be a very interesting scenario. Literally, as I said that, Mr. Mike commented, Cody needs to turn heel. Great minds, my friend, think alike. Oh, right, posting the questions. Right, I got to turn that down because this probably could have been going much quicker had I known what I was doing. But hey, you live and you learn, right? My first live stream in a couple of fucking years. It's going to be of course, something would have had to go wrong. At least it's just that it could have been something much worse. Devontae's only thing he likes about Raw is Alexa Bliss. And I hope that you mean that in a sexual way. Because I like Alexa Bliss too. I only like Alexa Bliss right now when I could see her in her cute little outfits and see her tight little buns and her beautiful face and her big beautiful eyes. And, and I turn my ears off because I don't want to hear it. As soon as I see the doll, I turn away because I don't want to see it. It's just reminding me of something that was much better than that the WWE had that they now threw in the garbage. And I hate it. Without Bray Wyatt, evil Alexa doesn't need to exist. But I do as well enjoy watching me some Alexa Bliss. AJ is everything. He's just booked like crap. You couldn't have taken the words out of my mouth. Absolutely perfect. Perfect way to sum it up. That's why AJ would be my top guy. All right, my friends. We're going on 1:30 in the morning here in New York City. I have to wake up in the morning and go to my piece of shit job that I really fucking hate and wish I could quit, but I can't do that until I get this channel to a point where I can support my family. And I can't do that until we get more subs. So don't forget, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that like button for me if you had a good time here tonight on the Monday Night Raw / birthday Sledgehammer TV 5th anniversary spectacular featuring the Sledgeheads themselves right here live. Thank you guys all for joining me. Let's go back to the main screen. That was really fun. That was a good time. I love you guys so much. I can't thank you enough. These last 5 years have been difficult. They have been difficult on many levels. On a technical level, on just having to watch wrestling, that has been difficult enough, but I'm here, you guys are here, and that's all that matters. Make sure you leave me some comments in the comment section below. I did ask a question at the start of this stream in the waiting screen. If you didn't see the question, it was, what did you hate the most about Raw tonight? You could answer down in the comments section below. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys were amazing. Next time I will have it configured much better. And maybe we'll do this more often, yeah? I don't know. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, Blue the Yeti Microphone, the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world. And most important member, as always, each and every one of you. That's going to do it for tonight. We are out of here. If you missed anything, make sure you check everything out on Sledgehammer TV. That's it. We are out of here. We will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Thank you, guys.